the first page I get is a handy overview of all the instances I have under management, which at the moment are none, but I do get this handy piece of information telling me how to install the NMS agent onto my instances. But before I do that, I think I'm going to go and find out what instances are around on my local networks. And I can do this using the scan tab. And I get a local network to scan, and I can just choose the ports and the subnet, and I can hit scan. It takes a little bit of time to do, but it's not too bad. Obviously, the bigger network range and the larger number of ports you give it to scan, the longer this will take, but it's really fairly quick in most instances. So as this completes, we'll get a list down here and some information. I'm just going to scan another network so that we have a complete picture. I know that I have a 10.10 network as well. Let me scan that too. So as I say, it doesn't take too long, and then we'll see what we have lying around on our network. Okay, so as this comes to completion, we'll see a few more devices. Okay, so now we can see what we've got. So we know the network we've scanned. Now we get to the interesting stuff. So the first thing we get is the CVEs. So these are the vulnerabilities. So I am running a few instances that look like they maybe have a medium level vulnerability. And obviously if I go down here and look at the CVEs, I'll find where they are. Let's just pick this one. So I can see the CVE ID. It's unmanaged, so it's going to again tell me that I need to get that done. But I will just take a look at the CVE, and if I link on this, I can actually get the announcement about what was wrong, and it tells me I should be running 1.21.0 or 1.20.1, which is pretty reasonable. Okay, so the next thing I can see is my certificates. So over here I have a couple of instances with an expired and an expiring certificate. We are still, I've been dealing with expiring certificates for 20 years and they still happen. So this is a really powerful and useful tool. Obviously I can click on my cert. It's expired in 0 days, it's already expired. And again, I can see the information about this particular certificate. And we'll talk about how we manage certificates a little bit later on. So there we go. We can see the instances I've got. I can see obviously the version of NGINX. I can see what ports they're listing on, and I can see what certificates are expiring. So the next thing I think I should probably do is go and get these instances under management. Now to do that, I can use this handy install script. It's pretty simple. You just pull it down from your local NGINX instance manager, and then you can choose to pipe it straight into the shell. Now, in general, you have to be pretty sure that any script that you're pulling down and piping into a shell running as root is somewhere secure. I happen to know that this is a local instance, so I can jump onto a device now and go and do this. So I'm going to copy this command from here, and I'm going to note that I will need the -k flag because I don't have my certificate set up properly. So now I just need to jump onto one of the boxes I wish to get under management, which is going to be this one. And I can paste in this command. And I'm going to add, as I say, my -k. There we go, and that gives me the instructions that I just need to start the service, so I'll do that while we're here. Okay, and now I just need to head back to my NGINX management suite instance manager instance and see if it's turned up in the list. So go back over here, go to instances, and then just refresh the page. And here we go. So now I can see I have my instance. I can click on it, I can get details. We'll talk about all these things in a minute, but the first thing I think I probably should go and do is enable the agent, install the agent on the rest of those instances. So I'm going to go and do that now. And here I am, I'm back. I've installed the agent on the other devices we saw in the scan. Actually, I have a script that installs the agent quite often as part of the initial install of NGINX. So some of them I just re-enabled the agent on, but the other ones I had to do some installs. So with a bit of luck, we will see. Here we go. All those instances I discovered in my scan, I've installed the agent on, and now I can see a lot more information about them. So let's pick one to go and have a look at. Let's pick 185 for no good reason. Okay, so what can we find out about it? Well, we have the instance type, version of the software. We have the the status of the agent when it's working. The any details of NGINX app protect, which isn't installed on this device. Details of the host system, disk partitions, network interfaces, all that sort of stuff. Kind of fairly interesting and useful things. Obviously, one of the key things I'm going to be doing is editing the configuration. So let's just take a look at this now. So here is a very standard NGINX configuration that's probably familiar to many people. So nginx.conf, and then look down here, we have the include file of the confd, and anything with anything ending in .conf gets included here. We have a default .conf. This will essentially be serving the static files from user share nginx set up as a web server. Very, very standard. So I can go and look at this. Actually has an external IP address. Let me go find that, and we'll paste it in and have a look. So let's see if we can see. Here we go. Here is the standard NGINX welcome splash screen that everyone's pretty familiar with. So let's see if we can make some changes to this. I think we'll take this from being a web server into a proxy load balancer. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to add an upstream. Now I am going to cheat and cut and paste for this because I am a not very good typist. So let's just add an upstream to here. So hopefully many of you are familiar with this kind of this management system in the upstream blocks and server blocks and location blocks. So I'm just going to change my location block to be use the proxy pass command. Proxy. Now you can see that we do have some auto completion, so I can do this and it will set me up with the defaults or some sensible defaults. Now I don't need that actually. What I need is to use the name that I gave the upstream, which is backend. And now I have a new configuration where I am load balancing and proxying to these two backend servers, or upstream servers as we would call them. So I can publish this to the device, and if I've done it correctly, I'll see that my publish has been successfully published, and over here I will be able to see a new web page. Now it sometimes takes a few requests because of connection staying open. Oh, there we go. And I'm load balancing across one server that provides a red background and one server that provides a black background. So there you can see I've done a fairly easy configuration change to this. And it works very, very well. It's pretty easy to do. If I do have a failure, I get useful messages. I get syntax checking, and I have all this auto completion on my syntax as well. So it's a really useful and powerful tool.